Well, hello. And of course, I'm driving to work again because that's what I do apparently. Do not mimic this behavior, children. This is if there's children, like Mickey and any others. Don't do this. This is bad. I'm at a stoplight right now, which is now a green light, so it's not really a stoplight anymore. It's more of a go light. But I'm waiting on a Volkswagen to make its mind up to turn. And while it makes its mind up and I start driving again, it is time for me to say, welcome to More Geek Than Gay.
There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
Wimpy whoopy, tiny whiny stuff.
When did I stop saying my name during those intros? Hi, it's Edward here. So, happy Thanksgiving. Gobble, 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 gobble. Like that wasn't a predictable response there. We had ourselves a delightful Thanksgiving day and night. We went over to Joseph's family. Most of my family doesn't live in town. Well, a lot of my family's dead. But those that aren't dead don't live in town. So, not much of a family get-together moment for me. My plans for Thanksgiving typically involve the idea of like making a dinner and watching horror movies all day long. Yay! That was a special face there just for you. But Joseph has family. We drove over there. Had ourselves a very nice Thanksgiving over there. Like, it kind of was like an old family Thanksgiving / Christmas in my family because there were so many people packed into that house. I believe it was, the last count was 18, but I think that was before they knew I was coming, so I think the count went up to 19. And let's see, there was, of course, Joseph's mom and his stepfather Dan, and then there was Frankie, his actor brother. He's actually got a couple commercials coming out, so don't be thinking actor like, oh, he's an actor. It's like, no, he's an actor. And then there was his sister Jessica. Hi, Jessica. And her husband Dom, or Pedro. I don't know what to call him anymore. And their children, Abel and Araya, and then there was her son Sergio, who's starting to pack on the pounds. His ass is big. And his wife, who I cannot think of the name of, but she's a sweetheart. And then their child, Samuel, who is fascinated by me. We're thinking it's because I'm the only blonde one around. And now we start getting into like trickier things. Now we have also his cousin Veronica and his oh god, I'm so bad at this. And well, there's 2 aunts and an uncle, and well, I guess 2 aunts and 2 uncles. Man, why can't I not remember? I was doing so well too with the names. But that was a packed house. I'm not sure how we got in and out of those chairs at that table. And that was a long-ass table. They also did a fantastic job of cleaning up afterwards. I thought that's going to be an activity that's going to take days. Nope. They had that down. Those ladies had it down to a science. They just bam, 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 and all cleaned up. But after we were done there, and I thank them all very much for their Thanksgiving. I might have been just filming my ear there. I'm not sure. My hand turned just enough. But after we were done there, we drove on up to Gini Koch's place, and she was having her Thanksgiving shindig, and we got to see Terry Smith, and we thought we were going to see Marcella Rockwell, for those of you looking for her books, but she had already left about half an hour before we got there, so we missed her. Yeah. And so we stuck around there for a while, and there were children there, and I did not realize how uncomfortable I am around children. Oh yeah, and there was some like second cousins or whatever over at Joseph's thing, but they were like shoved off into another room, and so I never saw them until it was time to eat, and then they were shoved off into another room again, and after eating was done, and it kept me from getting tense. But here there were children right there, and I forgot how tense children make me. I'm like going, oh, okay, this is like having big dogs jump on me. I don't know what to do. And the big dogs were very nice, actually, but it was still a very nice little shindig. And then we ended up like sticking around afterwards, having like a little cocktail. And Gini introduced me to, because I'm a Patron drinker many times, but I'd never had Patron Citron, and it was very nice, surprisingly sweet, very sweet. She's convinced that I only like bitter and like disgusting things because of my chartreuse, which I love a good chartreuse, but I do like things outside of that realm. She also had me try Saint Germain one time, and that was very nice, very floral, like elderberries. Well, elderflowers actually. But I just also happen to like bitters. And the lovely thing about liking bitters is that you never have to share. When you have a bottle of bitters or a bottle of something that is bitter, like Tuaca or Campari, or just overly herbal and strong like chartreuse, you can put that bottle on the shelf and you don't have to worry about anyone drinking it except for you. And that's a lovely, lovely thing, knowing that my booze is there. That's good. So that was very nice, and got to hear more about the upcoming DarkCon, and Ginny's going to be the guest of honor at DarkCon. She's still trying to see whether or not I'm going to get to be a moderator there, so that'll be nice. But oh, and then Joseph and Ginny are taking off to LA next week for some sort of book signing. I don't know what it is. I'll be honest. He tells me his schedule, but he tells me all these things at once, and then there's other things that come up, like Dart stuff and da-da-da-da. And some of these things just fall through the cracks, and then he gets irritated because he's like going, I told you, and sometimes I know he didn't tell me. This one, he probably did tell me. It just, out of all the things coming up in the holidays, this one fell straight through the cracks. Sorry about that one. But they're going there for something. I think a book signing. I can get more details on that later. And then we got home around midnight, and it was late. It was late, and it was dark, and the cats were all lonely and hungry, and but that was Thanksgiving. Now it is the day after Thanksgiving when many people get to relax or go shopping or something, and I'm going to work. I'm actually almost there. I can see the building right now. Hey, we do have a flag. On Friday on Wednesday night, we had someone call because our flag did not have a light on it. And my coworkers were like going, what kind of picky blah 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 blah, and I'm like going, well, actually technically he's right. If we do have a flag, I just didn't know we had one, But the sun's never supposed to set on the United States flag, and if the flag is flying at night because you don't take it down, there's supposed to be a light on it at all times. That's just how the rules go. So, I don't know where that was going. I forgot what the point was before that happened. But, because I noticed there was a flag, because I'm here at work now. Which means that I have to sign off for the moment, because, they frown upon me making podcasts from my desk. Or I assume they do. I've never tried that. There we go. You got to see me sticking my tongue out as I was stretching too far to try to get my badge to work. Well, unless you're listening to the podcast, in which case you didn't get to see me do nothing. You just got to hear me go, for no reason. So now that's been explained too. So I will get back with you after I get off work. And actually, that's kind of just caught you up on my week. And now when I get off work, we'll talk about geeky stuff. Or gay stuff. There may be some gay stuff in there. There's a Gaga. Oh boy, was there a Gaga. So, I'll be back! Howdy hey. Well, I am home from work. And instead of doing a little video of me going, hey, I'm on my way home from work, but it's dark and I'm driving and that's just too much danger, I decided, well, why don't I just wait until I get home? So, basically, it's time to talk about stuff. Finally got to watch another episode of American Horror Story Coven. Just to let you know how significant that is, it was the second episode. Yeah, we're way behind on this. Already it's looking better than the first episode, but I'm still wondering whether or not it's supposed to be some sort of comedy. There's just a little part of me that's wondering about that. I also wonder, I just wonder what goes through a creator's mind when, because they put together the Frankenboyfriend, and there's blurred out images because they use, he's all naked, but they can't show that on TV, so at one moment it's blurred, and another moment, if I recall correctly, there's a black box that blocks it, the goodies, which I'm assuming that you get to see on the DVD, so, woo, a bonus, you get to see Frankenboyfriend's penis, yay. Why film a scene that you can't actually show? I know that, it's a bonus on the DVD probably, but that's not a bonus. You could have easily conveyed the exact same scene and just filmed it in such a way that you didn't have to deal with blurring boxing and then revealing. It didn't add anything to the story that you got to see him naked with a black box covering the stuff. You might as well have put him in swim trunks. It was ridiculous. So I don't know why they do that. It's not the only show I've seen do that. It's the only one I can think of at this moment because it just happened, I just got to see it. But it's just ridiculous. So people out there, stop doing it. I don't really want to see TV goodies anyway. I know that everyone was all impressed with Spartacus and Oz and Rome because you got to see goodies all over the place and I don't care. Seeing women's boobs, I kind of understand that they're trying to think that it's equating. It's not the same. Okay? Women's breasts shouldn't, while it's sexualized, it really shouldn't be that big of a deal. Okay, it shouldn't be any more of a deal than seeing a man's chest, which can be sexualized as well. And seeing any of the lower parts, I'm not a prude, it just rarely adds anything to the story. Spartacus and Oz and everything, yes, there were shower scenes, and when it's just a casual scene like that, okay, I guess something in the background, but at the same time, it's not like I watched other TV shows about prison or Rome or, locker room scenes and stuff like that, and thought to myself, you know what's really missing? Bare asses and penises just flopping around in the background. That's what I'm really missing out of this scene. No, it's just stupid. Just like, again, in shower rooms for the girls, it's not like I'm thinking, a little bit of vag would make this scene just that much more authentic. If you're doing your job right, no one's noticing. So, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents worth. I know it probably makes me sound like a prude, but... And honestly, I don't care if there's a penis there or not, or a vagina there or not. It's just stupid to go ahead and produce it when you know you can't show it. Then just make it without showing it. Nothing's going to change. There's not going to be any significant change that happens because of it. I don't know. So, only on the second episode, so I don't know where to go with Coven. It's kind of fun. The Minotaur's walking around, I guess, now. And witches, voodoo, Franken boyfriend, a Minotaur, Actually, we are just a couple items away from being the hodgepodge of just, let's throw everything in this and see what sort of train wreck we can make out of it that last season was. But so far this season, it seems a little bit more controlled and not contrived. Last season, they just brought up things just to, end up just dumping them for no reason. Because they made a glorious train wreck of a horrible plot line that I was just dying to see what they were going to do with, and they decided, oh crap, we just created a horrible plot line that's a complete train wreck. Let's just dump things and not deal with them anymore. Oh. So it doesn't look like they're going to go there hopefully this year, but maybe, I don't know. Another thing, if you are interested in comic books at all, I have a recommendation for you. This is not anything new. People who are aware of comics have seen this for a long time. It is called Understanding Comics, The Invisible Art by Scott McCloud. It's an illustrated, graphic novel type thing. 200 something pages, but he discusses a little bit the history of comic books, a little bit a defense of why really it is an art form, and there's historical basis for it, and then breaks down what really happens in a way that doesn't feel textbooky. It feels more enlightening. When he talks about how static images, just drawn pictures, end up representing time and movement, how moving away from realism actually helps the reader associate with it more than a very realistic picture would. Things like that. And he does it, again, in a very entertaining way. There's funny bits in it. It doesn't delve into, and the psychology of no. He just points it out in a way that, especially using the pictures in the book, using the medium that he is talking about, you can actually see what he's talking about. It's like, oh yeah, time is elapsing in those 3 panels. That is fascinating that we're seeing it that way, even though nothing has been done to explain that time is elapsing. Oh. And a breakdown of really what the masters are doing. If you understand comic books as a potential art form, but you've never really gotten into why, this is a great thing to read to kind of get an appreciation, to realize, no, this is the depth that goes in. There's a reason why the dialogue is not going to be, Faulkner or Shakespeare. There's a reason why there's a simplified dialogue that goes on. There's a reason why the pictures are not going to be, Michelangelo or photorealism or things like that. There's a synthesis that has to go on that creates this perfect melding where the reader fills in the rest of the blank. It's actually more of an interactive medium than most other mediums are, and he points that out. It's just a beautiful text. If you do read comic books, it is a fantastic text to read to really see what the masters are doing, and then kind of see all these people who come into comic books going, all these authors who are like going, well, I'll just write a comic book. Oh my god, it's so great. My publisher thinks it's a great thing, and da-da-da-da-da. And you can see actually the joke that is their storylining, and there's pros out there who keep on getting more and more jobs. There's one that comes to mind specifically who, he's horrible in the medium. Okay, he does not understand how to convey things in the medium. And his stories virtually always end up failing and being completely ignored, even though they make a big splash when they're being done. And when you read this, you can understand why. So if you are curious, and like I said, it's very readable. There's 2 sequels to it. This one's Understanding Comics. Then there is Reinventing Comics, where he talks about what could be the next steps with computers and webcomics and different mediums that could be used. And then the third one is Making Comics, which would be more for someone who's a hardcore, hey, I really would like to get into this. Because understanding is explaining, reinventing is speculating, making is more teaching. But this is the one that's actually the essential reading for understanding comics. And that's why it's called Understanding Comics, Edward. I believe DC Comics now is the one that puts out all 3 of the books. It's gone through various publishers. You can usually find it on various booksellers at a reasonably discount price. I mean, the cover price is like in the low 20s on my copy. It's maybe gone up to like mid 20s. But I don't think I paid that much for it. I think I paid more, like probably 15. So, and I guarantee you, if you live in a major area, your local library has a copy of this, because it is really one of the best examinations and explanations about comic books that is also accessible. And I've seen some really highfalutin, like, ooh, we read a lot, and here's our explanation things, that really don't understand comics. I love people who write about comics who really don't know what they're talking about. They make me twitch. And it's amazing how many people think that they can talk about comics and then within the first 3 sentences prove that they don't know what they're talking about. This guy knows what he's talking about, and even acknowledges that there's so much more out there that needs to be explored beyond him. Pick it up, read it, it's fascinating, and hopefully, like my friend Justin, there are certain people who have difficulty following the panels on a page. Maybe this would help explain to him how that works, although to get that far he'd have to actually follow the panels on a page. I've never understood that, but then again, I've been reading comics almost all my life, so alright, you know what you gotta do. Another quick thing that popped up, cats running around. I can do this. Da da bum bum da 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 gay shows, because this was pretty flippin' gay. We have Lady Gaga doing a Christmas special with the Muppets, who she starts out saying how she always loved those Christmas specials that you grew up seeing on TV, and she decided to do one herself, and then proceeded never to sing a Christmas song. Singing nothing but songs that are off her latest album, and kind of making you go, I'm not really that interested in this album. The Muppets sang a couple Christmas songs. There wasn't much Muppet. It was very Gaga. And I know that she's like the big thing right now, but if you're going to do a Lady Gaga Muppet special, I would think, well, use more Muppets. Have it be Lady Gaga Muppet special. The Muppets have a big movie coming out right now too, that Disney is really hoping proves that they are franchisable again. So, and we did get to see a little clip of that, so that's nice, but at the same time, just not enough Muppets, in my opinion. They seemed like something that was thrown in between costume changes for Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga's a horrible actress. She doesn't know how to interact with Muppets. She's also, I've noticed this in interviews. She's actually really horrible in interviews. I've not seen anything. Well, I will say this. Graham Norton did get like maybe 5 minutes of entertaining interview out of her, and then she went back to just being like, oh, that's why you dress interestingly, because you're not. I've seen her on other shows. Ellen, she's just dreadful. I don't know why Ellen keeps on inviting her back, because it's painful. I've seen her on, oh my god, Jonathan Ross. She apparently was on once, got upset at him, came back, was uncomfortable. I thought maybe it was something weird that happened there, even though Jonathan Ross is a great interviewer and that was a great show. No, she's just as horrible on everything else. So it actually made the interview more interesting to see the discomfort of the whole thing. At least there was a reason. But that's Lady Gaga. I do kind of like the song Applause, but everything else has been really, oh really, that's okay. Ooh. Elton John was on it. They didn't have Elton John do his Christmas song. Gordon Levitt, Hewitt, Levitt, Hewitt, Gordon, Third Rock from the Sun, Robin. He was on it, singing the closest to a Christmas song that Lady Gaga did. It's Cold Outside, which actually is a winter song, not a Christmas song. And he proved that he cannot sing. So that was, and about the time that we were giving him benefit of the doubt that, well, he does kind of a nice speak talk thing, he became really bad. He became painfully bad. And it's like, why would someone bring this guy on here to not sing well? Who owed him a favor? Then the Muppets, you didn't get to see a lot of Muppets, like I said. The auditions were really cute, though. The auditions for the Christmas special were really cute. You did get to see Gonzo. You got to see a moment of Fozzie Bear. Truly just a moment of him. Miss Piggy was there, of course. Kermit was there, of course. I think you got to see Sam the American Eagle more than you got to see Fozzie Bear. Scooter was there, kind of in the background. The new Muppet, Walter from the Muppet movie, he was there. Let's see, who else was it? The Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem got a lot. Pepe the Prawn was there quite a bit. I don't even think Rizzo was there, and Rizzo usually is pretty regular on these things. It was actually not a good special. It did have some entertaining moments. The guy with boomerang fish, and I cannot remember his name. I always want to call him Marvin Zuggs, but Marvin Zuggs was the guy with the Muppaphone, and this is the guy with the boomerang fish. So he was there. I think he got more airtime than Fozzie Bear. So what's up with that? And it still comes in a pale second with Pee-wee's Christmas special, which is available on DVD, and if you want to, go get that one. Give up on this Gaga thing. Gaga Muppet thing. Sadly, just go see the Muppet movie. What is it? Not Muppets Most Wanted, I believe is what it's called. Go see that. And if you're really so inclined, buy Gaga's latest album. Just skip the whole Christmas special. Go spend your money on. I think it's only going to cost you like maybe $5 to go get the Pee-wee's Playhouse Christmas special with Annette Funicello and Frankie Avalon and Charo, and it also features Cherry and Terry and other things that end in E, I'm sure, and some mailman, and the most beautiful woman in the world, whatever her name was, I can't remember. And it also features Grace Jones doing Little Drummer Boy, proving that she is the queen of weird Christmas songs over anything that Lady Gaga did or would be willing to do. Go see that. With that, like I said, I'm just putting these out as I go along. This will be episode C, so I'm going to call it an episode right now. I, again, want to thank you all. Please leave comments if you get a chance. Leave a 5-star review on iTunes. That really helps us out a lot. We're going to be doing the relaunch again December 3rd. That's the aiming for the big relaunch. We'll have closing music and everything again. Also, with the relaunch, I'm hoping to maybe start doing interviews a little bit or getting guests in. Maybe Miss Gini Koch, maybe Miss Marcy Rockwell. Who knows? You know, there's some people out there. Joshua Tree Feeding Program. It's the holidays. People need to eat. So Joshua Tree Feeding Program is a nonprofit organization that helps people with HIV and AIDS get food. All volunteer. If you would like to help out, just check them out at jtfp.org. Any assistance, they'll be more than happy to help. You know, they'll love any assistance. Trust me. If you're in town in Phoenix, go check out Samurai Comics. They were really sweet to me the other day, and I realized I haven't plugged them for quite a while. So, Samurai Comics, they have 3 locations. The one I go to is the one that's just short of being on 12th Street and Camelback on the south side of the road. Look them up online. They have a website, Samurai Comics. I think it's samuraicomics.com. Gini Koch, Marcella Rockwell, I believe Terry Smith, and Jordan Summers, who wasn't there because she's going to Germany because she's special and goes places. Really. Go check out their stuff. They're online. They got websites. Joseph Nassis also. We were talking about him. I like his work. Check him out. And like I said, in the meantime, leave comments, come back. I thank you so much. And without any further ado, it is time for me to bid you all a fond farewell. And maybe catch us back this weekend. Maybe I'll sneak one last one in on Sunday before we do the relaunch on Tuesday. That one's not a promise though. May just be the one on Tuesday because we may be just doing all the recording and everything on Sunday. You never know. So, everybody, thank you and good night or good day or good grief.